this sound? Yes, we want to thank you so much for joining us on this show, the Focal Point Show. Of course, you know this show is a trending show. It's a show that brings about a lot of talks in and around our environment. My name remains Emenike Irebu, the anchor of this wonderful show. Today we're on the second half of this wonderful interaction. The first half caused a lot of stir in the political system of Abia State. And today we are going forward to discuss further another development as regards political issues still in the state and in Nigeria in general. I have with me still the person that you know. I have in the studio Honorable Kingsley Megwara. Honorable.
Hi.
And Chief.
Good to see you again, Emenike. Good to see you.
Chief, our last discussion was there were a lot of, will I say, punches. People were throwing punches from left, right, center on the social media and making you a talking point. And going back to your administration at AFNEWS and saying a whole lot. So this is the time for us to discuss again.
Well, you know.
So let us move into, how do you see the interaction? How do you see the punches, your reaction, and what happened in AFNEWS?
Well, first of all, I would have wanted the reactions to be civil. And when you go down to the gutters and begin to use profanity, you begin to use derogatory languages, it takes away from the actual discussion. In all of those interactions, I had always tried to be civil about the discussion. It's not about Kingsley Megwara. It's about the people of Abia State. They had questioned some of the things that we did in AFNEWS. By the way, AFNWS is the agency that is charged with ambulance services in the state, partly. It's also charged with sensitizing drivers about the need for them to be civil on the road. And I am extremely very happy with what I did in AFNWS. When I got there, there was nothing to work with. And we were able to procure 4 ambulances that came from the state. And in course of my administration, we bought 2 additional ambulances. So I had ambulances stationed, one at Uruka Road, and I had one very close to Aba, another one close to that covered the axis of Zoakoli, and we had them strategically located so that our response time in the event of an accident would be minimal. And so we were operating with 6 ambulances until I resigned from there. Additionally, when Dr. Kezikbazo was general manager there, he started a wonderful project, building our own clinic in our own premises. We called it the Trauma Center. Well, I call it the mini Trauma Center. I made that thing almost at the lintel level. We completed that project, roofed it and everything. And what I wanted to do is non-life-threatening accidents would have been treated in our facility instead of going to FMC or going to Amachara and so on. So we had that idea. I came into a facility that didn't have electricity for 11 years. We brought back electricity. I came into the facility and hired 13 new nurses, 14 drivers that they had to take turns, and 11 paramedics. So the staff strength was automatically increased, and we had people working and brought back vitality and made the place healthy again. They were being owed 3 months salary when I came. I'm the first general manager that paid 2 months salary at the same time, trying to catch up, because if you don't get these workers happy, you're not going to have the best coming from them.
But you said you left backlog of salary.
Well, when I came in as general manager, they were owing 3 months. When I left, and the director of finance is still alive there, we were owing 1 month of salary, because they brought in this agent that says, oh, all of the areas will make money, the state will now take it, and we were getting a 5 million naira every month subvention. And you have 200 and something employees there that you are responsible to, Aba and Omaya. And so when I left, and they can smell all of their want, but the records are there for everybody to go back to AFNWS. What is even more important is that the employees are there. If you go to Aba or you go to Umuahia and ask the employees, how effective was Kingsley Megwara when he was general manager? Whatever those employees tell you, believe what they say. If my political friends, I don't call them enemies, will come now and take a jab at me, I will say, where are the ambulances I bought when I was general manager? The last information I had was that they don't have any ambulances any longer. They had auctioned all of the ambulances. They said they couldn't maintain them. They were Mercedes-Benz that was bought by the state. They were used Mercedes-Benz ambulances purchased by the state from Germany. So you have to have a good maintenance culture to keep them. I was maintaining those vehicles, so until the day I left. Why then all of a sudden we don't have one today? So when people question what I did in AFNEWS, I'm proud of what the employees still say about Kingsley Megwara till date. That makes me happy.
Okay. Honorable Kingsley Megwara has given us an insight of his activities and his what he did in AFNEWS when he was the head in that particular agency. So let's move into other issues, which is obviously trending. And you know, in our last discussion, we discussed about a whole lot of political issues. And recently also there are so many issues politically happening in your party, the PDP. Immediately during the primaries, we began to see a new wave of withdrawals. And so I termed it withdrawal syndrome. Because we begin to see people withdrawing, they're not participating. Then the Guba primary capped it up. Almost all the prominent gubernatorial aspirants in that particular primary pulled out. The deputy governor pulled out. The current senator representing Abia State senatorial zone, Abaribe, pulled out. A lot of people pulled out from that particular primary. Why do you think these pullouts are happening?
America, first of all, I want to opine on your program that I think my party may be in trouble in Abia State. And when I say that, I don't say it to make anybody feel bad. I'm just saying it because it's the truth. And I don't like when people say, Megwara, please don't say all this truth. Party is supreme. That's rubbish. The supremacy of the party depends on the people who are members of the party. This subterfuge called party is supreme. It's only meant to wink, that's what my friend called it, the innocent person. Party is supreme is as old as 1972. Members of any political party who are now questioning the day-to-day activities of that party are headed for trouble. And I think Abia PDP may be in trouble, just may be in trouble. And that trouble I can only attribute to the incompetency, the incompetency of the party chairman. It's either that Asifo Okere is highly incompetent or he's highly being pushed around. I don't know which one is which one. To have Guba candidates, to have aspirants pulling out of the major election, and these are notable figures, that we will lose the likes of Ginger Onwusibe today, that we will lose the likes of Darlington and Manja. And you go to Okwa, Adolfo Swambara is not happy with the way things are going on. You come to Moya, Chief Onyemaechi, you cannot call him today and hear what he has to say about the party. So when you have the essential ingredients that makes up what we call a party, the people who are potentially those who will help us win elections, and everybody is disgruntled because of the process. You cannot sit in a room and decide who your three-man ad hoc delegates will be. We've done this process before. And Kingsley Megwara will always stand on the truth. I will always stand on the truth. Why are all of these candidates pulling out? Because they no longer believe in the process. If you have a governor who advisors will come and say, well, my brothers, in here when you don't insult leaders of the party and expect to win elections. It's never done anywhere, and I'm not going to be part or a party to any act or action that looks like a criminal enterprise.
But the question is, which also we have seen on the social media, and a lot of prominent PDP members who are saying the PDP are also saying this. They are saying that this is the process that it has always been. It has always been this way. Why is it that now that people that it seems that what they used to enjoy before, they're no longer enjoying it, they're now unhappy? If that's the culture of PDP, what is the problem?
No, I've never seen it with this level of impunity. It has always been an arrangement, and party men and women will agree with me. The three-man ad hoc election has always been an arrangement where you respect people. I mean, when you cease to respect integral members of the party, then you've gotten it wrong. There can never be an Nnamoha in a party that is as big as PDP. When these young boys running around, the governor will tell him, "Oh, when he get many," that's what is anger, putting anger in all of these men. The governor's critical advisors, and I'm not going to mention names here, and as we go further, we will begin to expose those who are putting us where we are. They have made it extremely difficult for Prosikone, whom, by the way, may come on board and surprise a lot of people. I didn't vote for him, and I had my reasons. But I'm not going to judge a man until he gets into the theater of operation, and you know what he will have to do. You know, they are not giving Prof. Sikone any chance in the next election because of the way that things have been. We cannot lose this amount of important members of our party and expect to do miracles next year in the election. I am saddened that my party has come to this level. And people say, "Where are you living?" Living for to go where? We are going to be inside the party and fight to clean up the party. The PDP as I know it today is not what it used to be. And again, I repeat, it's either Asifo Okere is grossly incompetent or he's grossly being pushed around.
What do you think Asifo Okere has done wrong? Because obviously there are power plays, there are, I don't know, but then, what do you think he has done wrong? He's not the only one in the party. Yeah, the leader of the party is the governor of the state. What do you think he has done wrong?
Well, the governor may be the leader of the party, but Asifo Okere has a critical role to play. There are certain things the governor will say, push this or push this, and say, "Naibu, nge melinka." A man as chairman will never tolerate some of what I'm saying. A Kimball would never have tolerated some what I'm seeing today. As at now, we've conducted election. We still don't have elections coming out from Arochukwu. We don't have election results coming out from Ohafia.
There are results already.
We don't have elections.
There are results already. How would you say there are no results?
Well, we've not seen them.
Which of the Arochukwu?
We've not seen them because these people are clamoring and saying they didn't even see election materials, not to talk about those who are conducting elections. How will I be in a party? Why will I be in a party when some of these complaints are coming? Let's take Umuahia North State constituency for example. People were there waiting to see election materials and to see one Onyike, young Onyike, who was supposed to be the one conduct. Nobody saw materials and nobody saw young Onyike. And you are going to write a result in that and, basically make people angry. The same people who will expect to come and vote for us are seeing this kind of madness going on. Emenike, I feel for my party. I have no idea of what is going to happen, and I'm not going anywhere. I am going to be in this party. I've always been in PDP, and I'm not going anywhere, but I'm very critical of what we are doing now because I want us to get it right. We are not giving Prof. Sikone a chance. We are not giving him any chance to prove himself.
It seems you are shielding the governor of Abia State, who is obviously your party leader. You say that there are some young people, there are some men who are directing him, but the ball ends in his court. He's the person in charge. Don't you think he should have stood up and set the record straight and make things happen properly?
Well, Emenike, if you notice, I've been very critical of the governor. He's my friend. And some of us in 2015 believed that he's the best thing that could have salvaged our state from where we saw it. I have said to you in previous interviews that I'm very unimpressed about what we have done in the last 7 years. When we came on board in 2015, this state was owing about 37 billion naira in debt. Today it's about 100 and something billion naira in debt. When we came on board, the issue of salaries was not as bad as it is today. When we came on board, the pensioners issue was not as bad today. When we came on board, this state being adjudged as the dirtiest in the federation was not like that. All of these things I see makes me very, very unhappy. I have always done a comparative analysis between us and Ebonyi. Look at Ebonyi. Just Ebonyi of yesterday. We get more internally generated revenue than Ebonyi. We get more from federal allocation than Ebonyi. Look at what Ebonyi has done compared to what we have done. We are nowhere close to Ebonyi. My brother, when I say these things, Kingsley Megwara is not angry at anybody. I am not disgruntled. I just want the best for Abia State. For every time I leave the shores of this state to go to America to see my kids, when I'm coming back, I'm saddened to know the way things are. And it's not about me. When I leave this program tomorrow, you will see the likes of Chikam Nayo start talking about Kingsley Megwara. Yes, Chikam Nayo, Kingsley Megwara has said, it is not about me, it is about Abia State, and it's about our collective interest. They will go petty and call me a returned taxi driver from America. By the way, Emelike, I did drive a taxi while I was going to school. Yes, I did drive while I was going to school in the US. I was a dishwasher when I was going to school in the US. Every menial job that I had to do to sustain myself, to go to a fine university, Georgia State University, Google it, a very fine university from Atlanta, Georgia. So Chikam will leave the facts and talk about me. By the way, they even said it was only yesterday that I got married. Well, I have 5 wonderful children, ages from 42 to 2 years old. 5 children. My first son is 42 years old. And the second one is 29, third one is 24, and then I started this next generation Megwara dynasty kids, and I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So that's me. But please, folks, leave about the private life of Kingsley Megwara and face the issues.
Okay, Honorable. Let's look at the court issues. Obviously, a lot of court cases have been filed in Abuja and as against the primaries. And of course, we've talked about the issue of the payment delegates, which is the bone of contention. A lot of cases. Do you see PDP scaling through these cases that are being filed at the moment?
Well, everybody has gone to court. It's either they are going to nullify what we've done or they are going to validate it. I do not know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a criminologist. I don't know what is going to happen going forward. But I fear for this state. I don't want to see a repetition of what happened to Dr. Okezikbazu. The first 4 years, in fairness to him, was very rough. The resources that would have used to make this place better was being used to service the court system in this country. Quote me. What we would have been using to clean up the mess in this state, the energy and resources was going outside the state. I see a repetition of that happening. Peradventure, Professor Kone wins governorship. It's going to be litigation. So why, ab initio, we didn't give a resemblance of sanity in the process, so that we can at least stop the hemorrhaging that will come from all of this litigation. For the next 4 years, if Ikone becomes governor, it's going to be court, and we don't need that. Everybody has gone to court. Nana Wafo is in court. Everybody is in court. I don't know what the result of that will be. Are they going to nullify what we have already done? Are they going to validate what? I do not know. But I am not happy that there is going to be a repetition, peradventure, if Professor Kone wins, that he will be in court for a long time, and I do not like that.
There may be a scenario where there are what's it called inter-party issues, and of course, now in our election period, you have to factor in the court, and there may be another external court issues again from left, right, center.
If somebody tell you, if you get the real figures and facts of what it takes to procure all this SAN and the bubu-yaya that's involved in our court system, you will know what there are several things I won't be privileged to say to you.
Okay, Honorable. The PDP primaries are obviously over, and except some few places where you just talked about. Now, even though that some people are already rejoicing that they have won, like this Abia North Senatorial Zone, which Honorable Ukonkole is still insisting that is unfinished. But obviously, Senator Mao Abunwa is celebrating that he has won. The Arochukwu State constituency issue, somebody have already celebrated that he has won. So, but what do you think the PDP in Abia State should be doing at this moment after all these activities?
I sympathize with Professor Kone, because usually after every primary, you start from day one to go back to all of the aspirants to say, he doesn't have that leverage at this time because most of these actors are in court. Most of this, it makes it extremely difficult for him. We want Ikone, the governor wants Ikone to succeed him, but you are not giving Ikone the essential ingredients for that success. I've criticized the governor's performance as very lackluster. What are we going to tell the electorates about the messy situation with our pensioners? What are our marketing tools going into next year's election? I see a lot of potholes for Professor Ikone. The healing process should start right now. The healing process includes what are we going to do? Some of our brothers who have left us and are gone, those are irretrievable former members of the party. But there has to be some healing if we will have any chance next year. ABGA is breathing down our neck. Be it Professor Greg Ibe, a fine gentleman by the way, or Chief Udensi, they are breathing down our neck. Look at what is going on now in the Labour Party. With this extra oxygen coming from Peter Obi and perhaps Kwakwanzo, I don't even know what is going to happen here. Alex Oti is right there. Most of the major players who failed this last process we just did from PDP are either going to Labour or they are going to ABGA. So we are going to have a very competitive election come next year. As a party, what are we going to do to make sure that Prof. Ikone will have a chance? And I'm saying this because we have a compelling interest to make sure this thing is right. But I will tell you this. I am not going to be party to any party that will not mean well for Abia State. I would not be any party to any political bloc that is not going to be. Kingsley Megwara, is looking for competency over mediocrity. The job to be done after Okezie leaves is a lot. And when you say this, my brothers and friends from Mungwaland, we say, your brother T.O.G. also left. My brother is neither here nor there. Going forward, what do? We need to get back to the track. Are you happy with the way Abia State is? We are the laughing stock of the nation, and I am pained by that. I want to see a situation where we've, for a start, deal with the issues of our pensioners. I don't want to see these men dying one by one without collecting their pensions. It's wrong. Salaries in this state, what do we need to do about it? State being in complete dirty situation, what do we need to do about it? Infrastructural decay in this state, what do we need to do about it? Those are the major points that I want us to see. And if Professor Ikone is the answer, so help us God. If he's not, men and women of these states are no longer going to be fooled. They are wide open and looking. We are going to take competency over mediocrity. We have to get it right.
Anyway, we're going to talk about sanitation. I remember some few months ago I visited Ebonyi State and I was driving around the town and I didn't see any heap or any mountain of refuse anywhere. And I started making inquiry. They informed me that every resident keeps his leftovers inside his house, that the people that pick the dustbins come every two days. And once they come, you bring it out. So there's no mighty refuse dumps. And so I keep wondering, it's not rocket science. They should have done something about this all as well. But coming back to the issue, now if you were sitting with the PDP chairman Asif Okere, which obviously you have made some statements against, what would be your advice to him at this critical period? It's
no longer about Asif Okere. It's about Professor Ikone. Asif Okere is no longer a player in the game right now. It's Professor Ikone going back to the drawing board and say, okay, I want to be governor. A lot of my members are disgruntled. I have lost about 9 Guba candidates who are major players in all of the areas they come from. What do I do from now? The healing process has to start for him if he will have any chance. The results of the areas that have not been called, look into it and see if there's any credibility with it. We've already screwed up with the 3-man ad hoc formation, and people are aggrieved about it. Only one of them, the people that says we did not handle it very, very well. That blame goes to Dr. Kezikbaz. He's the leader of the party, and we've done this thing before. without this bubu yaya you are hearing about. So Prosecutor needs to go back to the drawing board and decide how he will have to attack going forward. It pains me that when some of us are critical of what is going on, just to get it right. It affects my own party. But I don't believe in that party is supreme anymore. We've swept too many garbage under the carpet, and that's why we are where we are. Let's expose ourselves with the primary purpose of MNK getting it right. We have to rebuild PDP. This is not the PDP that we once knew.
Yeah, one of your very close ally in this political system, the Speaker of the National House of Assembly, Right Honorable Chinedum Orji, emerged also through the same process that we are critical about.
Oh yeah.
He also emerged as a flag bearer for PDP for Electoral Federal Constituency. What's your take on that?
First of all, Engineer Chinedum Orji is not my ally.
Okay.
He is my brother, and I believe he's he's done very well in the Abia State House of Assembly. I'm very proud of what he has done. Never in the history of that house have you seen the quality of what has come out of that house. Most of those members have done very, very well in their various constituencies, which, by the way, is not their primary function. The primary function of a legislator is to make laws. But these guys have been able to bring about dividends of democracy in their various quarter. I think Engineer Chinedum Orji is going to do well. He's already going to enjoy ranking. Peradventure, God helps him to win in the general election. If you do that election 50 times in Electoral Federal Constituency, however formation, 3-man delegation, 22-man delegation, 55-man delegation, Engineer Chinedum Orji is extremely very popular in this side of Abia State. So he's going to do well, and I wish him luck.
Okay, let's go to the national discourse at the moment. The Igbo presidency issue is still on the front burner, though it's dwindling. The discussion is dwindling a little bit. It's becoming a little bit clearer that the chances of Igbos is very slim. Do you still see any chance?
Well, I may not see any chance of an Igbo man being president from the PDP. The last time you and I sat on this table, you asked me about P2B, and I told you there are 20 people running to be president that I know have the paper trail and the qualifications to do so. And I said it's P2B, it's P2B, it's P2B, it's P2B, it's P2B, until I got to 20. What they have done, and it's sad that even some of our brothers are part of what I now...
Even the governor is not support of P2B.
Well,
he supports his friend.
It's sad. Well, that's just the governor. But we have 17 men from the 17 local governments who are going to put.
But he controls them. He's the leader of the party.
Well,
and of course, he must have given his friend Wike the blank check. Don't worry about Abia.
Well, first of all, if I were in the governor's shoes, I wouldn't have come up front to quickly endorse Governor Wike. I have not followed Governor Wike very closely, but I followed the fact that Rivers State is extremely very rich. Whatever might have informed Dr. Okezikwazu to have thrown his weight behind Nyesom Wike, I do not know. But as an elementary politician, I don't see the pathway to Governor Wike being president of this country. It hurts me to see that, know that Igbos did not rally around Peter Obi, which by any stretch of the imagination,
some Igbo leaders, not all, because of course you are an Igbo. A lot of Igbos are in support of Peter Obi.
Let us see what is going to happen in the coming days with Peter Obi going to Labour. The momentum is on his side right now. Nigerians want somebody who will come in and clean the mess after President Buhari. That's what I hear in the streets. And so I am not happy that in Abia State it doesn't seem like we are giving him any chance, by virtue of the governor saying, I'm supporting my friend. It's good to support your friend. It's good to support your friend, but we are party men and women in PDP. There are 17 people in the 17 local government who will go out there to Abuja to cast that vote. I don't want the kind of powers that governors currently enjoy in the system. I do not like the kind of powers governors currently enjoy in this country. It's dangerous, and it's not democratically progressive for all of us. I think that my friend Dr. Okezikwazu probably in the coming days may regret his support for Nyesom Wike.
Okay, thank God you say you think. But there are informations that Peter Obi has moved to Labour. Are you going to be in PDP and support a Labour presidential candidate?
Well, I am in PDP, and I'm in PDP. I just want things to be right in this state. I have no plans of jumping any ship at this time, but we must get it right. If Peter Obi emerges from the Labour Party, there are several people who are going to cross carpet to vote for Obi as a presidential candidate. By the way, the numbers will shrink in the next election if peradventure INEC and all of this propaganda that they are going to get it right in the next election. Okay, Zikbazo won with about 282,000 or 284,000 votes in the last election. Whoever will win governorship in this state will be under 150,000, 160,000, 170,000. That's my prediction. We are not going to have those kinds of numbers because I know how those numbers came about. We may not be able to get another.
You know how those numbers came about?
Well, some of us know how those numbers came about.
Can you tell our audience a little bit?
I will when I turn 80. When I'm 80 years old, I will tell you some of that. We may not be able to get another 82,000 votes from Obinwa. We may not be able to get another 22,000 votes from Ogunabo. And I can go on and on and on and on. If there's any sense of sanity in the process, the numbers will now shrink. And anybody that wins governorship was the one that won governorship.
But do you see any chance of opposition picking Abia State?
We are vulnerable. PDP is vulnerable in Abia State. Anybody wants to believe it, or you don't want to believe it. We are vulnerable to ABGA, and I've told you that if they come down with Dr. Gregory Ibe, it's quality. If they come down, and by the way, people keep writing Alex Oti off. Alex Oti is quality, whether you like to believe me or you don't want to believe me. So we have other go-back candidates from other parties that are quality, men who are visionaries. And I'm not writing Prof. Sikone off. Going into the election already, he has 25-30% in the bank because we have been in this party forever. And those establishments are still there. Yes, we have a lot of our members who are angry now, but I think Prof. Sikone begin to do a door-to-door house and saying, guys, let's clean up the mess. I am the agent of, regardless of how I came about, I am my own man. It's time for Prof. Sikone to stand up and say, I am my own man. And that's what Abians want to know.
Okay, Abians, we've been discussing with Honorable Kingsley Megwara on so many political issues, and it's a follow-up of our last discussion, which caused a lot of stir in the state. And I'll be asking my very last question today so that we'll move forward. But then this question will be setting up the agenda for 2020, after 2023. Okay, we've talked about the issues at the moment. But bulk of our challenge is where Abia State will be from 2023. What do you think anybody that emerges governor of Abia State should be focused on from 2023?
Well, first of all, we are at the bottom of the ladder infrastructurally in the state. If you move from here and go to Edo or go to any other state, you will know that we are really, really very backward here. I would say that the healthcare system in Abia State is not at par at all. We don't have one hospital, one credible hospital facility in this state. Credible hospital that there is an emergency and we have to, that you wield in and everybody's doing what they are supposed to do.
We have FMC.
Well, except it's a federal organization. I'm saying this state doesn't have one that meets any standard. And I want to see that happen. And I've also told you that we needed to take care of our people. There is no reason why anybody should be working and not getting their pay. Let's get it right. One of the things that gives us money in this state is from federal government. The price of oil today had quadrupled from what it used to be. Money is being pumped into the. We are not just using it very judiciously. The next governor has to be prudent. You have to also have the right people around you. The days when boys advise a governor should be over. Men should be advising. I just want somebody to come on board and get it right. And be it Prof. Sikone, be it Gregory Ibe, be it Dr. Alex Oti, what we want in this state right now is somebody to come in and clean the mess so that everybody can be happy. The infrastructural decay of this state is terrible. Roads are in deplorable condition. and we are not taking care of our elderly people here. Please, I will impress upon the next governor to make sure that those ambulance services that are stationed in the roads, those are very healthy. And every day now you go around and you see very mad people all over the place. We need to begin to have the human part to us. I have always told my friends, he said, Megwara, you want to be commissioner? Commissioner for what? The things that impresses me is making sure that when there are accidents on the road, people are being rushed to the hospital. The thing that will impress me, or I would like to see, is that we are cleaning up our cities and making this place a little more clean. If you know the amount of communicable diseases that are arising as a result of the filth that are filling Club Road and School Road and Fimbers and all those things, those are the ways all of these diseases amplify. We need to clean up this town. Very, very important, and we need to go back to helping our people. We've not done so far.
So you think any new government coming in should look at social welfare? Very important.
Very, very important. You go out there in the street now, you see crazy people all around. Why can't we convert one old primary school that nobody is using and assemble all of these people and clean them? Most of them can be rehabilitated. We can do all of that. There has to be a human face. To leave it for the office of the wife of the governor is not enough. Not enough. Social services in this state is zero. Zero. Take it from me, and we need to go back to doing those things. And I've talked about that our infrastructure is in terrible condition. If anybody slumps down here, the only thing we have is FMC. Why can't we have a trauma center owned by Abia State government? FMC is a federal institution. We don't have one quality hospital in Abia State. Quote me.
Thank you very much, sir, for this interaction. Thank you, audience and viewers, for being there with us and watching our interaction this particular period. Of course, here we allow our guests air their views, and then we allow you make your decisions on what our guests have said. Thank you for being here with us. This remains Focal Point. My name also is Emenike Rebu. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you very much for tolerating me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful Saturday.